All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the brother Awarabah from Great Millstone, Dallas. Coming back into you again with this truth. Before I kick it off, I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful and humble elect that's out there doing this work in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the planet Earth, hoping to wake up the hopeful elect so we can get the heck up out of this place. Shalom to you sincere Akwath, you sisters that are out there that are watching this and that are keeping the faith. Salutations and greetings to you as well. Okay, so as you see on the screen, there's this police officer, okay, that is basically telling the truth about why they are killing the Jakes. All right, so I was sitting up here enjoying lunch, and I came across this video and decided to do a lesson upon it. And basically, what I'm going to do is just go through this and just do some commentary, and I'm going to let you guys listen to this. All right, and he's basically explaining why so self-proclaimed white cops are killing you Jakes, man. All right, so you're going to be able to hear from his own mouth, and then he's also going to let you know why they're doing it and what they're afraid is going to happen to them. All right. So most high willing, you brothers and sisters get some edification out of this. All right. So we're just going to roll in the spirit. Throughout this commentary, I'm going to pull a few precepts as well, just to prove just to bring in some more edification. All right. So without further ado, let's get it cracking.
Hey friends, and well, let me be honest, probably before this video is over, some of you will consider me as an enemy. But I wanted to share a couple minutes about my thoughts, not only on the tragedies that we have been experiencing over these past months, and especially these last couple of days with the shootings of our black men, but what I'm coming to learn over my 23-year journey of being a white man, living and ministering amongst my black family here in several inner cities of Chicago. And I'm going to speak very black and white because, let's be honest, it's a black and white issue.
Okay. Yeah, it's always been a black and white issue, man. It's been a black and white issue, so-called black and white issue, from the beginning, man. All right? All the way back to the garden. Okay? Esau, the spirit of Esau, was always the one who was always contrary to the teachings of the Most High, man. Okay? That spirit. All right? And then it's just, manifested over time, over a dispensation of time. Because if you think about it right now, who in the world do you see that is constantly beefing the most and everybody wants to see it? And it's more about watching them. The whole world sees this. It's not the Chinese versus the Japanese. It's not, the Russians versus the Ukrainians, or the white man versus the Iranians. It's everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to see, the white man versus the black man, so-called. Okay? It's always been about Esau and Jake. Okay? Always, throughout history.
I want to take you to the book of Exodus, chapter 1, and I wanted to share a little bit of what took place prior to the rise of Moses. When I read that, it talked about that the Pharaoh became concerned and very fearful that the Hebrew slaves were growing in number and in power. So in order to maintain their oppression, he put upon them great labor. He put upon the Hebrew slaves cruelty to keep them down. However, they still grew. And so he brought together some midwives, and he instructed them that when a Hebrew boy was born, kill him. Well, these midwives did not follow, and the Hebrew...
And I'm going to say this too. Yeah, that's right. Even though he did do that, and you can see that nothing is new under the sun. Because at a certain time in history, also, Nimrod, who was an Edomite, or Herod, excuse me, who was an Edomite, he actually did the same thing whenever Yahushua was born. Okay, told him to basically kill all Hebrew boys that were a certain age. All right, let's continue.
Slaves continued to grow. Eventually, the Pharaoh became so hatred and towards those Hebrew slaves that he made a decree. He put out an order that male baby boy Hebrew slaves were to be killed by casting them into the Nile River. Let's look at America. We brought blacks into this country as slaves.
Yep.
We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom.
See, these devils know that we're the true children of God, man. They know that we're the Israelites. Okay? They already know what time it is. And they know that they're going to have to pay for what they're doing.
So we became even more cruel. And to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree: kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go.
Bingo, he said it.
So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans.
That's right. Because Esau knows what's coming to him, man. They know that they're going to get it. That's why he said the bloodshed that's on its way. Okay? And who is it going to come through? It's going to come through our big brother Yahushua, man. All right? Let me get a quick precept real quick. Okay? I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah first. I'm going to go to Isaiah 63. And I'm going to start at 1 because, see, a lot of the so-called Christians like to believe that who the world so calls Jesus Christ is coming back to hand out lollipops and dandelions and to save everybody. But in reality, the Son of Man is coming back with a sword, man. All right? And this is going to prove it. And this is a prophecy that is going to come to pass. And I can't wait. All right? This is Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. And it says, who is that? Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? That this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in greatness of his strength, that I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Okay, so he was red in his apparel, like he had been in a wine press, man. Okay, all of his garments was so covered, like he had been in a big old thing of stomping out wines. or stomping out grapes, excuse me. Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That doesn't sound like he's handing out lollipops and dandelions and rainbows and Skittles, does it? Exactly. Okay. And then he also said that he's going to do that alone, by himself. He said he don't need no help. All right. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. All right. And it says, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me in my fury, and it upheld me. And this is the point right here. It says, and I will tread down the people in my anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. Okay. So yeah, Esau, you got, Esau and these other nations that are not amongst the 12, not amongst the 12 tribes of Israel. You better pack a sack lunch, because it ain't nothing but chaos and destruction coming your way, man. Okay. And I'm going to continue with the video.
But is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting.
There is a shifting. And he already knows what time it is. You know what he's going to say, guys. You already know what he's going to say. All right? So there's a shifting. There's a changing of the guard. All right? We're going to go to the book of... we're going to go to... I was in the right one. Let me go back. Second Ezra. I'll get this one real quick. This is 6 and 9. And this is clear cut, easy. Okay? And he said unto me, or I'll start at 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, and when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? So that's right. There's got to be a changing of the guard, man. Okay? You Edomites have ruled for long enough, and it's time for you guys it's time for y'all to give it up, man. Okay? Simply why? Because of how you've taken things too far, man. How you've done in your rulership. Let me get this quick precept. This is Sirach chapter 10, and I'm going to start at 8. Okay? And it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So yeah, your time is up, Esau.
Us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president. And we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're going to get it. Last precept on this one, and I'm going to let this one play out, y'all. Okay? This is going to be out of the book of Revelation. Okay? And then we're going to go to the 18th chapter, and we're going to start at 1. Okay? And it says, And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. All right? And that Babylon the Great is America, man. Okay? America has fallen and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Yeah, everybody wants to be like good old America, man. Okay? That's why they have this America, make America great again slogan. But guess what? It's not going to happen. It was prophesied that this place is going to fall and burn. So I'm going to continue. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Don't be like her. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Now here comes the point right here, okay, based off of what this man just said. All right. He's worried about what we're going to do to them because they've done us so bad. They're worried that all the stuff and the madness that they've put on us and the hell that they put on us Jakes, on you so-called Negro, Latinos, and you Native Americans, they're worried about when we take power because they've done so bad to us, and they know that they're going to get it back. All right? And this is verse 6, and this is what it's going to say about that. It says, Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. All right? So everything that you self-proclaimed white people have done to the nation of Israel, guess what? It's going to happen to you twice as bad. Thus saith the Holy Scriptures.
I've lived in a black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge, and change.
You can't repent.
Because if we don't, I just want to again say this. The bloodshed that we will experience is on our hands, not the hands of our fellow black Americans. I welcome your comments. I welcome your feedback. Hit me up on Facebook or go to my webpage at www.studio2911.org. Again, that's studio2911.org. I don't necessarily know the answer, except for us white Americans need to repent, acknowledge the lies that we have taught, acknowledge our value system of equality. It is not here, and it does not include our black brothers and sisters. And we need to change, and we need to change now.
The water for watching this. I hope this lesson was edifying. All right. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.